Okay, in this activity, we're going to be working with inequalities and understanding inequalities that involve multiplication and division. So we're going to kind of break it down. So it says, complete the table, decide which graph represents the solution of the inequality, and then write the solution of the inequality. So as we go through to graph these, we're going to start with, first of all, completing our table. So what they want us to do is they want us to substitute in -1 for where x is. So really we're doing 4 times -1. So 4 times -1 would give me -4. Now, if I were to substitute in -4 for this portion right here, -4, is that greater than 12? No. So in this situation, we're going to put a no in this box. Okay. So now we're going to go through and do the next one. So what we're doing is 4 times 0, which would give us 0 for this box. So if I were to put 0 in this spot, would 0 be greater than 12? No, 0 is less than 12. So we would still have a no there. Okay, so we'll continue in that fashion. 4 times 1 would give me 4. Is 4 greater than 12? No. You kind of get the idea, right? So now we'll do 4, substitute in a 2. Take note, this is how I'm substituting in. Those numbers, I'm putting where x was here. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8. Is 8 greater than 12? Still no. So that's not a solution yet. Okay, so now we'll put a 3 in there. 4 times 3, which would give me 12. Is 12 greater than 12? No, they're equal to each other, but it's not greater than 12. It's not bigger than 12, so it's still a no. You can see we're getting closer, right? So now 4, and we're going to put a 4 in place of x. So 4 times 4 is 16. Is 16 greater than 12? Yes, so we finally got a yes. 4 times 5 would give us 20. Is 20 greater than 12? Yes. Okay, and we can stop there. Okay, so we're going to look down at our 2 graphs, and we can see here that when we finally, where did we finally start saying yes? We started saying yes right here, which our x's were 4 and were 5. Okay, so where are 4 and 5 covered by our arrow? Well, or included in our graph, here's 4 and 5, and the line is graphed over 4 and 5. So take note, they did mark on the 3, but this open circle means that it's not including 3. So there it is including any number that's greater than 3. So this would be the graph that we would mark. Oops. And they also wanted us to write the solution to the inequality. Well, when we write that solution, what did we mark on? We marked on 3. So we've got x, because x was on this side, I'm just going to leave it on that side, is greater than, and we started our graph on the 3. So x is greater than 3. So any number that's greater than 3 would fulfill that requirement. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the second table. We'll go off to this side. Okay, so table B. And I'm not going to write everything out on this one. We're just going to go ahead. I want you to make sure you're understanding that this time you're working with some negative numbers. So remember, when we multiply and divide negative numbers, we count the negative symbols. So the first couple I'll write out. So I have a -3 times the x this time is -5. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 negatives make it a positive 15. Okay, so I have 15 is less than or equal to 9. Is 15 less than 9? No. Okay, so -3 times -4. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 negatives make it a positive. Is 12 less than or equal to 9? No. Okay, so let's do another one. -3 times -3. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 negatives make it positive. Is 9 less than or equal to 9? Yes, because it's actually equal to 9. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and finish out this table. I'll give you a couple minutes, then you'll check back and we'll go through and do the graphing part together. So pause your video, finish working your way through this graph or this table, and then we'll discuss out the graph part. Okay, so for the remaining boxes, you should have gotten yeses on all of those. Okay, so where did we start doing yeses? That was back at our -3. So when we write our inequality, well, we know it's going to be marked on the -3, and both of these are marked on the -3. And then we have to decide, well, what direction should our arrow go? Well, we would need our arrow that would go over 6, 3, 0, and -3. So this one's going over -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and counting up. And this one's going over -3, -4, -5. Okay, so as we're working our way through this, or sorry, I should say it should be marking over -2, -1, 0, 1. I totally read the wrong line. Okay, so this is the one that we would mark. I was looking at that graph wondering why I had different numbers. Well, because I read the wrong line. Okay, so there's the graph that we would have. And then the inequality, well, we start out with our x. And remember, we were just solving, we just want it to say x. And then this symbol, so x is actually, these numbers are bigger, right? So is greater than or equal to, and then the number we graphed on was -3. So this is the inequality that we're working with. And we'll get better at writing those. I know we practiced a little bit in section 1, I believe it was, that we worked on writing those inequalities. So it's just kind of bringing that back up. Okay, so that's activity 1. We're going to bypass activity 2 and we're going to shift into activity 3. Okay, activity 3, very similar. It's just that this time it's working division. Okay, so we're going to go through the first table together and then you guys will do the second table on your own. So same concept. We're substituting in that number that they're giving us for x in place of x. Okay, so for the first one, when we go through to fill this first one in, we're going to put a -1 where x is right here. So this would then be -1/3. Okay, so we're just putting the -1 there. So it just becomes -1/3. And if I put in 0 divided by 3, that's going to give us 0. And 1/3, because I'm substituting that in the top spot because that's where the x is going to be a +1/3. And then we would put a 2 where our x is here. So 2/3 would just be 2/3. 3/3, that reduces to actually 1. 4/3, you could leave it as 4/3. You could write it out as 1 1/3. I will tell you the book leaves it as 4/3, so your choice. And then 5/3. I'm just going to leave it as 5/3. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to substitute in what we had for this box here into this position because that's what it was right there. So is -1/3 less than +1? And that would be a yes statement. So I'm just going to put a Y for that. Okay, is 0 less than 1? Yes. Is 1/3 less than 1? Yes. Is 2/3 less than 1? Yes. Still not a whole pizza, it's only 2/3 of a pizza. Is 1 less than 1? No, it's equal to, but it's no longer less than 1. Okay, is 4/3 less than 1? And if you were to change that into a mixed number, it'd be 1 1/3. 1.3 repeating, once again, no. And this last one's also going to be no, because you're going to see that sequence. This 5/3 would be 1 2/3. Okay, so now we see where we have our yeses and where we have our nos. Okay, so all of these met the qualification right here for a yes. Okay, so when we go through to do this, our number that we have is 3, because if we're working through to get that number by itself, 3 is the first place that we said no. Okay, 3 is the first place we said no. So that's the number that we're going to mark on. So notice both of our graphs are marked on 3, not colored in because it was not an equal to. So now where we had yeses were 2/3, or sorry, not, I did this on the last one, were 2, 1, 0, and -1. So where do we have those marked? Right here. The arrow are above those numbers. So there's our inequality graph. And then here we would have x and 3, and x is less than 3, because all of those numbers that we marked are less than 3. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and work your way through letter B on your own. When you get finished, you can go ahead and check the answer key out of the folder to make sure that you are understanding how to work through that. Good luck with this one.